space bar belong to us.
You're listening to Gamers Digest, a podcast where your hosts put the controllers down just long enough to talk about gaming news, rumors, and anything else they can think of. Here are your hosts, Spider One and Mr. Factastic.
Sweet, sweet, glorious HD. It's a huge difference what a wired connection will do for you.
Yeah, I mean, I even lost my hair. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't had hair this whole time, but now it's not as fuzzy, so they can tell.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have more hair, so yeah, this is gonna be like when the TV switched to HD, and everyone's like, "Man, these newscasters are ugly."
Yeah. So now you see our true selves.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're doing a show on Thursday this week. We are Gamers Digest.
Did we ever do shows on Thursday before, or was it Wednesday?
Wednesdays. Yeah, Thursday's a new day for us. Soon we'll have covered the spectrum. Because I think we did one show on Friday once, and we did Saturday and Sunday, and then we've done Monday.
Yep.
I don't know if we've ever done Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't think. We haven't done a Tuesday before.
So we'll do Tuesday next. No, we'll go back to Monday. But we held off this week for pretty obvious reasons. I mean, there was a big conference on Monday for Sony, and they didn't really say anything.
I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah, they had. I don't want to say big conference, but they had a conference, and they were kind of like, "All right, yeah, here's everything said about the PlayStation 4,
all over again."
Right, and then Microsoft's big conference was Tuesday, which we will dedicate most of the show to that.
Yeah.
But we still have some regular stuff we have to go through. So, what did you play over this extended week?
I actually played some XCOM. I was just playing some games on my my netbook. Played some XCOM.
Okay.
And I fired up. I told you about my Pokemon fix.
Yeah.
I did fire up Pokemon Emerald.
Yeah.
And some Advanced Wars. So just some little stuff here and there. But yeah.
Cool. I mean, keeping up with it. So now you're
Exactly.
ready for Pokemon X and Y.
The more I think about it, the more I do think that when that game drops, I might. Especially if I'm financially where I want to be by that time, I'm hoping I should be.
Yeah.
I might go out of my way. Like, all right, let me do this.
Right. So you might be able to trade that PlayStation 3 in for some money.
Maybe. Yeah.
So,
our camera stand.
Yeah, we'll find it. We'll find a new camera. I have lots of books and stuff. So, and we may not be here at that point. We may be moving. So
that's true.
Because I think it's supposed to come out in October or November, I think.
Yeah.
So that would be right around
that would be
moving
right
time. So I did Marvel Heroes. I'm still trying to do a lot of that stuff. I actually found a couple of collaborators, and we're working on some first in the community projects.
Nice.
So it's pretty interesting. We did Ragnarok Online and then Terraria here and there, but mostly just working on the
Terraria
website.
For the computer or the Xbox?
Computer.
Okay.
So I actually think you and I will probably jump back into that at some point because
it was a fun game.
I bought a second legit copy rather than just copying mine and snaking my way through it. We now have 2 Steam copies because Terraria was actually on sale last week for like one day during the week for like $3. So can't beat that.
No.
So we'll probably jump back into that.
That would be fun.
Well, we got some news. The first is probably the biggest news story of the week besides Microsoft announcement.
This is a really huge news story. Sniper Elite V2 is going to be coming out. It came out this week on the Wii U.
The Wii has a new game.
Yeah, it does. That's really big news.
I love our notes because we're like a Wii U port, yay! And then I'm like, sad, a game release for the Wii U is news.
Yeah, that is pretty sad.
Yeah, I had to do this almost satirically. But I mean, it is news, and we try to cater to everybody. So anybody who has a Wii U is like, man, I wish something new would come out. Well, something new came out. So
something new came out that's an old game.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty
much the Wii U story. It launched with a bunch of games that had been out for 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that sucks.
All right. Rhode Island, the owner of basically 38 Studios at this point, who did Kingdoms of Amalur. We talked extensively last year around this time about them, is looking to sell their assets and their IP, and then whatever money is left on that loan that 38 Studios took out, the taxpayers have to pay for.
That sucks.
Yep. Boston's not having a good time right now.
No, they're not.
Not having a good time.
No.
Voice actors.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. The voice actors for the new Arkham Origins game have been announced. I'd have to pull up the story again for the people could be
for Disney Princess.
Nice.
I'm like trying to hide it.
I need to pull up the story again to see the exact names. But let's see the voice of
They're pretty-
Ezio.
Yeah, they're pretty big voice actors.
Yeah. Let's see. Craig Smith.
There you go.
He did Ezio Auditore and Assassin's Creed. Chris Redfield, Resident Evil.
Sonic.
And he's also the voice for Sonic. Yeah, he's doing.
That's
he's Batman, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the other guy, Troy Baker, he did Kai Lang in Mass Effect 3. That's the character I do know. But he's doing Joker.
Yeah. It could be interesting because what's his face? Kevin
Conroy.
Conroy.
Yeah.
Actually did voices for that game, but not Batman. So a lot of people think he might be Deathstroke. So we'll see. It's interesting. Like everybody was kind of worried. Like we talked about it before, how we were kind of worried, with the new voice cast and stuff. But I kind of expected that if they do a third game because Mark Hamill said that he wasn't going to do Joker anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they kind of wanted to just out with the old crew and the new crew. So we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna hold my judgment on this game as a whole, just because it's a whole new team.
Yeah, and I still have yet to play one of these Arkham games.
You really should. I mean, our deal of the week is on Amazon, and
Okay.
I picked one specific one, but there are some like Arkham deals. Like I think one of them is like Arkham City and Arkham Asylum for like $10. So
Dang.
on PC.
Yeah.
So Smash Brothers, Mario, and Mario Kart will be announced at Nintendo Direct. The new ones, of course. Nintendo Direct is basically Nintendo's E3 conference, but they're doing it the day before E3. Just like Microsoft does something at E3. Nintendo did something, but they always had Nintendo Direct first.
Yeah.
This year they're skipping E3 just to have Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, and plus we did the story before because we thought that like the E3 is going to be all about PS4 and Xbox.
Right. So Nintendo bowed out,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's better that way because we'll talk about the Xbox later, but we're starting to see how this next generation is going to look from early impressions, and it's interesting.
Yeah. One thing I would like to point out is that Nintendo during this time they have like a deal with Best Buy going on, where the demos for these games will be playable at Best Buy stores.
They didn't say necessarily what games.
Yeah,
they did say
yeah.
The games they are demoing at E3 will also be playable at your local Best Buy.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm like, all right, tip my hat to Nintendo for that.
Yeah, I mean that's neat because we can't go to E3. I mean, I should put in for press badges at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt we'll get them. But that's pretty cool. Like you and I could go to Best Buy and we could pretend we're at E3. And oh, we're at E3. This is the newest Nintendo game, and ignore that guy in the blue shirt.
Yeah.
No, I don't want your service plan.
No.
The Assassin's Creed movie. We talked about this when we did our video game movie discussion.
Yeah.
That spiraled into bad directions quickly. But it's due
remember
out in
that.
May 2015. So
Yeah. So about a year from now.
it'll be competing with the Angry Birds movie.
And it'll also I don't think it'll be competing with the next Fast and Furious movie.
Might be competing with the next Avengers movie.
That is true.
Unless they go for June. So
Yeah. Interesting.
Final Fantasy VIII, everybody's second favorite Final Fantasy that remembers them, is getting a remaster just like Final Fantasy VII for the PC.
Do you think they'll end up doing remasters for all of their?
Maybe eventually. I don't know how much we'll get it stateside, but I'm sure they'll do it eventually because there's a huge market for that kind of stuff.
Because I still have not. I played 7, I played 8, but I skipped 9. I didn't play 9. I let my brother play it, but I would just tune in here and there while he played it. But he finished 9, and I was like, okay, since he played through it, I don't really need to play through it.
Right.
But I might want to do it.
Yeah, I mean 9 wasn't bad. 9 takes a lot of flack, but I like 9, so we'll see. Maybe.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you can always buy it on the plate.
yeah, the
Never
PS1.
mind.
Oh,
So you can buy it on the PlayStation Store, but
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
yeah. Tryon, who released Defiance, which is the big thing in the news right now because it's that TV video game crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Actually laid off half its staff. They said pretty much what is like the going, basic generic memo of, well, we don't have a game in development now, so we got rid of the development team because we don't need one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it. A lot of people were kind of worried about that because they announced at the same time that their actual popular MMO, Rift, is going free to play in June. This doesn't come as a shock to me. I don't really know how Rift held out so long on subscription model because it was kind of like a World of Warcraft knockoff with a few little tweaks here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I just pissed off like 40 people.
All the Rift fans.
Yeah, I don't know. I played it and I didn't like it. I was just
Okay.
like, this is too much of the same. Fantasy MMO with talent trees and the only cool thing
It's been done before.
right. The only cool thing was the rifts, which is the dynamic events, and that lost its luster as soon as you realized they weren't very dynamic. Like it's like okay, the same rift appears in the same place on a certain time schedule, pretty much. There you go. So. Oh, here's more big Nintendo news.
Yeah. Nintendo exclusive. I think there's like 3 Sonic games that are going to be Nintendo exclusive. So that's more stuff for the Wii U and the 3DS as well. So
there you go.
And one of the games is Sonic Lost World,
which we know nothing about.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. I think the picture was like a little globe or something.
I think it's gonna involve what's his face, Neil. Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
And dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and an old man.
John
and
Hammond.
Sonic running from a T-Rex.
Okay.
That's my official prediction.
I can see where it's coming from.
It's written by Michael Crichton.
Posthumously.
From his notes. Yes. EA has no games in development for the Wii U. I think we kind of talked about this last week. I posted this and I didn't finish writing the note apparently, but that's actually a lie. They do have games developed for the Wii U, just not very many.
Okay.
So they kind of backpedaled a little bit and said, okay, yes we do, but not as much for the Xbox or PlayStation brands. Which we have to say brands now because there's multiple consoles of each that are active or will be active. So we got through all the news pretty quickly. A majority of our show is going to be focused on the big announcement. So what was the big announcement?
The new Xbox console at the Xbox One.
You know why they call it the Xbox One?
No.
Because no one is buying it. Coin first. Or no.
Xbox One.
You know why they call it the Xbox One?
Why?
Because once you buy a game, you're the only one who can play it.
Touche.
If you don't get that, we will explain it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Touche.
So we'll start with the generic. We'll show you what it looks like. Maybe. Well, we'll show you what it looks like first. So there you go. There's the Xbox
One with their new improved Kinect that always has to be on.
Yep. We'll talk about Kinect. But there you go. The new console, the new controller, the new Kinect. It's Xbox One because it comes as one. So, I mean, you're pretty much stuck with that as a whole. They haven't put out a price yet, but that's it. I mean, ta-da!
There it is, everybody. That's the new that's the successor.
That's the new Betamax.
Yeah. It looks huge.
Yeah, it really does. Like, I almost wanted to find a picture of the original Xbox and see if I can get a size comparison because they are pretty big.
That looks huge. I wonder how loud it's gonna be.
Yeah. Actually, they say it's really quiet. Like that was one of the selling features. Is very quiet. But let's talk about hardware first, and then we'll get into opinions. So here's the breakdown of the 360, the 1, and the 4. Wow, that's a big number jump right there. So, I mean, more processor, faster. Overall, the processors are slower, but there's more of them. You get kind of weird processor math, but basically they're faster processors. Cores, obviously, it looks like PlayStation is kicking butt there.
Yeah.
More teraflops. This is all the nitty gritty stuff.
Yeah. No.
They haven't mentioned any embedded memory. 8 gigabytes of memory versus 512 for both of them. The big thing to take away here is the PlayStation has the faster memory and the better memory. You can see it.
Yeah.
2100 versus 5500. Memory bus, blah blah blah, architecture. None of that stuff. Really.
Yeah, it looks pretty staggering. Like PlayStation 4 definitely looks like a superior console.
The only difference and the only thing that's not on here is the hard drive size, which I actually think.
Let's see, the Xbox One has like what 500 gigs or something.
Okay, there they go. So there you go, 8-core CPU, 8 gigabytes of memory, 500 gigabyte hard drive. But here's the little catch. The Xbox One runs on a version of Windows. They haven't said what, but I'm gonna guess it's based off the Windows 8 architecture, because that's what it looks like. That operating system, and then there's an operating system for the television component, which we'll talk about in a second, and then there's an operating system for the video game component.
Yeah, it's like partitioned or something.
Right. So they said you will get nowhere near that 500. They said those 3 operating systems take up, and this is the exact quote, they take up a significant amount of that space. So user space will be limited. So we're like, okay, that's kind of worrisome right there.
Okay, yeah.
And then they're like, by the way, users cannot service this hard drive. So it's not like the 360 or the PlayStation where you can pop in a bigger hard drive if you want.
Yeah.
You're stuck with that 500
until the end of the Xbox One,
or until they release the Xbox One Slim.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So everything else is pretty standard. We said Blu-ray drive. That was
that's pretty
not
big.
optional at this point.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, HDMI. USB 3 actually caught me by surprise. Not many things use that, but it is quicker. And
yeah, no component or composite cables.
Right.
Only HDMI and
optical.
Yeah.
So they're pushing for that next wave.
It can also support 4K. I remember reading that 4K resolution.
They think they haven't confirmed that, but people suspect that.
Okay.
So that's one thing that is up in the air, and a lot of this stuff is up in the air. Like they gave us specific hardware stuff, but the always on internet, that was like the big thing. Like the always on internet was the big question.
Yeah.
Does it require always on internet? And Microsoft's answer was really kind of difficult to discern what they meant.
Okay.
They said it doesn't always require internet, but it needs to connect to the internet.
Yeah, I don't get that.
So basically, here's how they broke it down. They said it has to connect to the internet at least every 24 hours. It has to connect to the internet when you start playing a game. It has to connect to the internet periodically during playing a game. So it's pretty much always online.
Yeah.
Like you need it. Like they came straight out and said, if you're at a military base with no internet, you cannot use the Xbox One. So I don't know why they tried to reword this.
Yeah, go around it. That's a little deception there.
Right. It requires an always on internet connection. There is no way around that.
Yeah,
and the reason it does that is the games. We'll talk about the games in its own. We'll probably circle back to that internet connection, but we'll go through the hardware. We'll finish the hardware. So the other piece is the Kinect. Which,
Yeah.
You had mentioned you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. It always has to be plugged in or whatever. I remember the microphone's always on.
Yep.
It's like.
Yeah, that was their big presentation of everything is voice command, everything is motion tracking, blah blah blah. This is the new Kinect. It can see who is holding the controller.
Yeah, I didn't
stuff like that. They said it can even discern heart rate.
Yeah. Yep.
Which worries me kind of, but like how invasive is this going to be?
Mm-hmm.
But it's you have to have it. Like it's on every system. So the option to Kinect is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good way for them to sell more Kinect units of not giving the option.
That's true. Yeah.
Older stuff like controllers and Kinect and headphones and headsets and everything like that will not work with the one.
It's not backwards compatible at all.
Anything. Xbox Live, arcade games, Xbox 360 games, nothing.
Yeah, that bites.
It's not backwards compatible at all. So here is.
It's the antithesis of backwards
So
compatibility.
there's the controller. Controller actually looks pretty much the same. They made a few adjustments here and there. Better D-pad, little redesign. Other than that, it's a little slimmer now. The battery pack is built in, so it's more like the PlayStation controllers than the previous.
And doesn't the triggers have like rumble feature or something like that?
So more rumble, more everything. I have no complaints about the controller. Right? Yeah. Honestly, if the D-pad's better, then it's probably going to be the best controller on the market, because that was really the Xbox's controller's only fault. So, the other big thing they announced was the TV system.
Now the TV, I did not read up too much on. I have no idea how it works, but like you can plug your cable into it or something like that.
Yeah, basically what they're trying to do is you can plug your cable box into the Xbox, and you want your cable through the Xbox, with some enhanced features and stuff like that. Like the example they gave was this one. Like you can watch basketball and you can get all the stats on the side and stuff like that.
Okay.
So kind of, if you've ever watched a Blu-ray movie with the enhanced Blu-ray features, it's kind of like that. Like the pop-ups and crap like that. And it's also compatible with Smart Glass, so you can get more stuff like that. Like they had a picture of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And then on the Smart Glass tablet, or I think it was just a Microsoft tablet, they had like the map of where it currently is in the show and little notes and stuff. So it's kind of a way to enhance the TV. And this is actually only coming to North America when it launches, and then it's going to come to other countries. The thing that we're kind of up in the air about is whether or not you need a specific cable company in a specific cable box. Because they didn't give really any details on this, how it works. They just said this is what it does.
What about a specific cable plan or anything?
Right.
Yeah.
So we will see that. They did say they had a partnership with NFL. You can get a lot of NFL games, so we'll see how that goes. Honestly, they're marketing this, I think, more as a entertainment box than a gaming box.
Yeah.
Because their big Halo announcement is a TV show. Like they brought Steven Spielberg out to talk about a Halo TV show, and then had no Halo game to back it up. So that kind of worried me a little bit. Like that was the point where I was like, all right, where is this going?
Yeah. Like it's like they're trying to compete with like Apple TV and Google TV.
Yeah, whatever. So. From a gaming standpoint, and this is where we're really going to jump into it. They have the game DVR, same as PlayStation, so you can record what you're playing and upload it and stuff like that. You can do Skype calling as well as Xbox Live messaging and stuff like that. You can do group Skype calls, so that's pretty cool that you can Skype somebody.
Yeah, that does seem neat. And I mean, everybody's gonna have that connect, so might as well use it, right?
Right. And they mentioned Snap Mode, which is basically where you use those three operating systems in tandem. So like you could say, open TV, and it would open the TV. And they say, okay, go to Internet Explorer, and it'll go to Internet Explorer. So that seemed interesting, but honestly, what we care about is the games.
Yeah, that's why we would buy an Xbox One, right?
Right.
To play the games.
Right. So we'll do the big one first. So they pretty much confirmed that used games are.
Yeah.
I don't say gone because they did say that they made it in mind for the used market, but they are putting a major kibosh on.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the way it works is when you buy a game, you have to install it, and they since said, well, you don't have to install it. So there's kind of some conflicting information there. But you buy a game, and you have to register it to your Xbox Live account.
Yeah. So Spider-1. So say you buy Halo 5.
Yeah.
It's gonna be registered to your Spider-1 account.
Right.
And nobody else. Well, I mean, I'm sure somebody else will be able to play it, but they might have to pay a fee.
Right.
If they want to play it on their gamer tag.
So here's the way it works. If and they did kind of clarify this, so this is accurate as of right now. Say we live in a house together, which we do. If I buy Halo 5, you and I can play it on that console with multiple gamer tags if I set up the controls the right way. If I set the settings right, anybody on that console can play it.
Okay.
Where it gets tricky is, say, I take a game somewhere else. We can play that game at that person's house, but I have to log into my profile.
Okay.
And at that point, say I leave the game there and I leave.
Mm-hmm.
If he wants to play that game, then he has to pay the fee or log under my profile. So it gets kind of tricky.
Yeah.
They haven't said what the fee is. They haven't said, stuff like that. Some things have said like full retail price, which would be insane because you and I generally don't buy games at full retail.
No.
We find sales, stuff like that.
Yeah, sales, or we go to GameStop and just,
right.
pay the reduced price.
Something like that. So it's really bad. I mean, nobody liked this announcement.
Yeah,
nobody.
That's. I mean, when I knew the announcement was going on, I was busy that day. I was like, all right, I'll just read up on it later. And when I saw that news piece, or just when I just got that little piece of information, that kind of just killed it.
Right.
It's like,
and the other big thing was like, we're like, okay, well, Xbox generally has a good amount of exclusive games. They didn't really talk about any exclusive games. They talked about a couple of things real quick, and they showed like a live action trailer for one, and then they showed like pre-render stuff for like Madden and FIFA and stuff. And the game they talked about the longest was Call of Duty, which is huge cross-platform game.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about Call of Duty, but it really worried me from a gamer point of view. Like, this console really isn't going to be worth it to me.
Especially once it launches.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if they're not going to focus on gaming, I have a PC in the back that I can play.
Mm-hmm. And you have a 360 that's working fine.
Right. So. And, price is going to play a huge role in this too, because they've already said that Xbox Live is still going to cost money. Like, if you want to play multiplayer games, it's going to cost you money because Xbox Live is a premium service. And that struck me as, I've been a big advocate of, they need to drop that. Like, I understand. And now they're pushing like, oh, we're going to have cloud gaming and, we're going to have all these features. And I'm looking at it like, yeah, but PlayStation has most of those features anyway.
Exactly.
So we'll see how it goes down the line. But as of right now, like, honestly, I'm not real impressed with it.
Yeah, the Xbox One seems like a very hoity-toity, and
I think it goes back to what Peter Molyneux was saying. I think he said, when I was working on the original Xbox, we went out to make a gaming console. He's like, when we made the 360, we went out to make a gaming console. And in between that, that 8 years, Microsoft lost its focus, and now they're not focusing on gaming as they should.
Yeah.
Because they're alienating their core audience.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if it wasn't for the gamers, they wouldn't be where they are now.
Right.
They will go elsewhere. We might see like gamers migrating to maybe PS4 or the PC.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are already like, well, PS4 is in the bag at this point because that used games. I mean, honestly, like now I'm looking at like if they were to both launch tomorrow, I wouldn't buy either one of them.
Yeah. I still see no need right now.
I would play the games on my PC because I mean I can wait for a Steam sale and get it for $15.
Yeah, once it
like Borderlands 2 was last week.
Or when Tomb Raider came out, it was already $15 cheaper for the PC when it launched.
Right. So
and it's the same game, and it looked better on the PC.
Right. Now the only thing that could flip flop that is there are a couple of engines in production specifically for EA, and I think one other one that aren't on PC. Like EA has this Ignite engine for its sports games that isn't on PC. It's only going to be on the next generation consoles.
Okay.
But that's eventually going to catch up.
I
mean, that's PC's going to catch up to that pretty quickly.
Yeah. So, everybody has a PC.
Yeah. Except for you.
True. Touche.
You have pieces of one. We
I
just got to find a case.
pieces of PC. Yeah. Even my laptop's
pieces.
2 parts.
So, what were your impressions of the Xbox? Like, I rambled on.
Yeah, I don't see myself. I don't need one. I waited 2 years before I got a PS3.
Right.
And the only reason I got an Xbox is because my brother got one and he joined the military and he gave me his, and then I was stuck with it pretty much. And then I just played it, and then every time I got a red ring, I have to get another one. You know what I mean?
The vicious cycle.
Yeah, the vicious cycle. So, yeah, I mean, just from we saw the stats in comparison. The PS4 is it looks like a more powerful system. The used game thing really bothered me. I don't even like the fact that if I buy a used copy of Battlefield, I need to spend $10 just to get the online pass. And I mean, it's like, just little things like that. They do get to me. And if Microsoft is really serious about what they're doing, registering the game to the gamer tag, they're just opening up a whole new can of worms that I don't really want to mess with. And the whole always online thing. What if you're in a storm? Like, some of the best gaming times I've ever had was when we're like stuck in a house, like during a blizzard or something. What if you lose the internet? Right. So you can't. So you won't even be able to play games. So I mean that bothers me. The always on, the registering the games to the game, because I don't like buying games full price. If that was the case, who does? So I mean, if I got an Xbox One, I'd barely have any games for it.
Right. And I mean, the Xbox Live games on transferring, it's kind of dumb. But they said it's due to, some restraints, so give them a pass on that one. But
yes. I mean, it definitely doesn't look like an attractive thing to get when the system launches. There's no.
Now the one neat feature that I thought, and I actually think this will come to other things as well, especially PC. But they announced that achievements, not only will your gamer score transfer, that's like the one thing that does transfer, your gamer tag and gamer score, but achievements for a specific game can change over time.
Yeah.
Like they said, well, okay, so a game has 1,000 achievement points, and you can pick up achievements and get the 1,000 points, and then maybe the developer wants to get frisky and say, okay, you need 20 kills with a sticky grenade, but you have to stick the sticky grenade to yourself first. And they add that achievement in and take out another one. So based on like player behavior and how players play, they can change the achievements. So,
that sounds pretty cool. I mean, that's neat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, it's not a major feature.
Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna buy the Xbox One.
Right. It's different. Like that was one of the few things that they mentioned that I was like, why hasn't anybody done that before?
Yeah.
So
what do you think of the name? Did we talk about the name? What happened to Fusion? What happened to Nextbox?
They were probably just throwing people off, or Fusion could be something for the One. Okay. Like it could be a product for the One. I mean, the name fits with what it's trying to do. It's trying to be that one box in your root that does everything. Personally, I think it's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it is kind of dumb.
But they They only need like 7,000 years and they'll get to 359, and then what are they gonna do?
I don't know.
I don't know if this console goes as bad as journalists are already predicting it will. They probably won't make it that far.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Because like everybody is ripping this thing a new one. This is, I don't know. I think Microsoft jumped the shark.
Yeah, jumped the shark. Dropped the ball.
Yeah, I've never used that statement ever because I think it's stupid. But yeah, I think they jumped the shark on this one.
Yeah. And jump the shark, everybody. If you ever watch Happy Days, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So, yeah. Next week. Well, I guess I should do the deal of the week. We don't have a review or preview this week.
Yeah, this is all Xbox One.
Yeah, this is like our Xbox One special show.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll be back to the normal show. Not next week, but the week after.
Okay.
Next week, I have baby stuff I have to do.
Nice.
So when the baby comes first.
Yes. And the baby's coming soon.
Yeah. Baby will be on the like 55th podcast. I think I broke it down. If it goes according to plan, maybe like 57. So, if we do it, we might take a break.
Okay.
We'll talk about that. But the deal of the week. So the deal of the week is Amazon is having like a huge marketplace sale. They have all kinds of games on sale. Like I mentioned, the Arkham City.
Mm-hmm.
They have actually some free games as well.
Nice.
Nothing major. But free games, stuff like that. So that's always cool. But the one I wanted to mention was the Braxis pack. So I love saying Braxis.
Yeah, it is a cool word to say, Braxis.
They make XCOM Enemy Unknown, the Civilization games, and that's basically what's in the pack. You get Civ 4 complete, you get Civ 5 complete, and you get XCOM Enemy Unknown baseline. Because you don't need any DLC for that.
No.
DLC really.
Yeah, it does.
But you can get all of that for $20.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because basically, like if you buy that separately normally, it's like 130.
Yeah. 20. Oh god.
So $20, Civ 4, Civ 5, and XCOM.
So what's the moral of this episode is to
invest in a good game.
Yeah, get a PC. Get a PC.
Nvidia, I didn't put this in the news, but Nvidia started taking pre-orders for their gaming tablet with a controller. It looks stupid, but
the controller looks stupid.
The whole thing looks stupid. Do you remember those screens that you used to be able to get for like the Xboxes and the PlayStations that would just like sit on the top and you could fold them up?
The LCDs. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's basically what this is. It's a controller that looks like an Xbox controller with a screen that flips up.
Okay, that is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They say it can run most games on like medium settings, so I'll reserve judgment, and it's only like $300. So we'll see. The problem is most games require an internet connection.
Yeah.
At least
it's just like the Xbox One.
Right. So the nice thing about PlayStation are like PC games, specifically Steam games, is if it's not like an MMO or something that it requires an internet connection, you can throw Steam into offline mode and just play it normally. Like Blood Dragon. I did that with Blood Dragon. I threw it into offline mode. I had to activate and everything first, obviously, through the internet, and then I threw it into offline mode and went up to my grandparents and was able to play up there on the laptop.
That's cool.
So Xbox should implement that. How hard is that?
Yeah, offline mode.
Yep. So Xbox One and done.
Yeah, not too impressed. If you had to give the Xbox One reveal a grade, what would you give?
1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's not an 11. It's a 1.
I guess I give it a.
I wasn't.
What about a letter grade?
If I gave it a letter grade, I'd probably give it a D.
Okay. Yeah.
Not completely terrible. Not Wii U terrible.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, I give it about a C.
Yeah. There's too many things about the console that are up in the air.
C minus.
Like if I knew if they were open and gave me all the information, I'd probably feel better about it. But it really worried me that they danced around that internet connection question. Like it doesn't require internet, but it has to connect to the internet.
Yeah.
That kind of worries me about Microsoft
like
because
oxymoronic.
Right.
You know, contradictory.
I think they kind of know what they're trying to do, and I think they kind of know people aren't going to like it. So that worries me as a gamer, and it kind of worries me as a PC person because they don't really have the PC market to fall back on anymore.
No.
So we'll see. I mean, it's all up in the air.
Mm-hmm. If you had to predict a winner for the next generation,
I can't right now. Like they
we don't even know what the PS4 looks like.
Right.
It could look like a clown shoe. Right. You know.
That'd be better than the Betamax. At least then it'd be funny. But they have both said, like Sony and PlayStation have both said, E3 is the second part of our reveal. So I am not going to pass too much judgment on either one of them. Like I have my initial knee-jerk reactions, like I expressed.
Yeah.
But I'll hold back until they give the full reveal at E3. Like E3 is supposed to be the big like software reveal and stuff like that. So
that's a few weeks away. So we'll be here to talk about it.
We will be there with the blue shirts to talk about it.
Yes. Yes.
So, all right. Well, that was our show. We got stuff coming out regularly. We're kind of in a lull right now.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get back to my Let's Playing over the weekend.
Yeah, I have. I'm working on some Marvel Hero stuff. The first one, hopefully, I will finish tonight if I can do the voiceover correctly.
Okay.
I did like 4 voiceovers and I didn't like any of them. So
don't you hate it when that happens?
Yeah. Like one of them, I would say something wrong, and then one of them I would say like and then there are different problems with each one. So I'm gonna go back tonight with that big thing of margarita. And I'm gonna knock them out.
Oh, that'll help.
Yes, it will.
It'll give you wings.
And the Disney Princess cup of margarita.
There you go.
This is it.
Nice. Royalty. All right.
Gamers Digest is a Spider One and Mr. Factastic production. All characters and games are owned by their respective companies and are used under the Fair Use Law. Check out Gamers Digest at gamersdigest.me, on YouTube under Gamers Digest Podcast, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at The Gamers Digest. Viewer questions and comments can always be sent to gamersdigestpodcast@gmail.com. See you next week.